Hi, parents. Hello. Oh, I think I'm muted. No? Um, I think it's good. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Um, for those of you who are celebrating Merry Christmas, I actually really hope that not a lot of people are watching this live today. Today is Christmas in the US anyway, and I hope that you're busy spending time with your family. But for those of you who are not celebrating or if you don't get a chance to celebrate, I want to be here for you. So anyway, let me check out if this is working because I'm not able to see your comments or anything right now yet. Okay, I think it's working. Let me know where you're calling in from. Okay, I think device said no, like you can't hear me or I'm not sure. Um Hi Andy, hi Nikki, thank you so much. Robert from Florida, hi. Hi. Um okay, great, thank you. I'm glad it's working. Hi Jane from Ontario, thank you so much, you guys. Really good to see new faces as well as seeing faces that I names that I recognize. Thank you so much for your support. Monica, hi. Judy, hi. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna be on for very long. Anna, hi. Thanks from Ontario. I'm not gonna be long today, but I do want to talk about it's holidays, right? So I want to talk about gifting. Um, a little bit about the gift, but more so about how to survive it, right? Because as alienated parents, it's so challenging. Your relationships with your children have been affected, and your children's minds have been poisoned and brainwashed. So now you're at a point, and some of you may still have contacts with your children, maybe not a lot. Some of you have no contact whatsoever, and some of you don't even have information as to where your children are or if they're okay. So there's a lot of questions when it comes to occasion like Christmas, right? You don't know if you should be giving gift. What should you give? If you do give it, does it get to your children? And if it does get to your children, how do they feel about it? Do they throw it away? Do they feel more angry? And ultimately, what I want to talk about today is really how you should feel about this whole thing. So Divine said that he or she is on a protection order to not see or contact your children, her or his children. Sadly, I feel same pain as other. That's horrible because it seems to me clearly that you want to be with your children and you love your children, and yet you're prevented from doing that. Robert said big hugs to all of you. Thank you, who are not able to give your children hugs today. Yeah, I'm really sending you love because really it's such a heartbreaking time when you're seeing other people are celebrating, and it should be loving and happy time that you could spend with your loved one, especially your children. And if you don't get to do that with your children, it's really heartbreaking. And I want you to know that you're not alone, that you're very strong. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the gift itself. I think we're going to start first. I want to talk to you about a piece of research about gifting and the reformulation of relationship. This is I thought it was an interesting research. So I want to show you guys. There's a study. It's a little bit older. It's done in I think 2000. Let me share the screen if I can. Give me 1 second here. So this paper, it's a peer review publication. I think it's here. Okay, I think it's sharing on the screen. So this paper here, let's see if we can make it bigger. All right, a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is a research work that was done a while back in 2000, actually I think 1999, that look at gifting and how that reformulates the interpersonal relationship, so between the giver and the receiver, obviously. And they found that, so just because you give a gift doesn't mean that it's going to improve the relationship. And this is what they found. They found that there are 6 potential impact of gifting to the relationship, and some of them are positive, but some of them could be negative. And in some situations, they found that the gift can actually sever the relationship between the gift giver and the recipients. So I won't be walking through the details of this, but I do want to highlight a few things. So actually, there's a table. This table here is kind of interesting. Let's make it fit better. Okay, so here are the 6. I hope that you can read it, and if not, like I said, I'll show the heading of the paper again so that you guys can find it yourself. But so it could strengthen the relationship, which is what you hope for, right? Or it could affirm the relationship, or it could have negligible effect to the relationship, which means it does nothing. I guess it doesn't hurt. Okay. Or it could have a negative confirmation of the relationship, or it could weaken the relationship, or the worst thing is it could sever the relationship. Okay, so this is just a high-level summarize of their research finding. And so some of the key things that I wanted to point out here is that, so for the case of strengthening, right, and affirmation, you notice here is that the gift is highly ritualized and personalized. So you notice here, highly ritualized and personalized. The same with here with the affirmation. So the positive impact, right? It's highly ritualized, but not personalized. So essentially what it's saying is that the gift that you want to give to your children, it needs to be something like if you wanted to have, and actually it's not just to your children. This research, by the way, is for gift giving in general. And it's saying that if you wanted to have a positive impact on the relationship, you want that gift to be personalized and ritualized, meaning because so the thing about gift is it's supposed to show that you are thoughtful and considerate of the receivers, right? You want the receiver to understand that they are thought about, that you understand them. So when the gift is, so you look at the other situation here is like, where it doesn't have a positive impact. I don't know if you can see the mouse, but so when you look at where it has, the level of ritualization is high to none, or it has negative emotion, or the same here, negative emotion or subversive. So the one of very big important aspect of the gifting is choosing the gift that is appropriate for your children, right? And because you're talking about ritualized and personalized, actually giving a gift card of money actually doesn't fit into this, right? Because money doesn't characterize this personalized and ritualized characteristic of the gift. So the paper went into a little bit more details later on, talking about these different things, explaining a lot more of this. So I won't go into the details of this, but one of the another highlight that I want to point out here is when, so there's a negative impact here, the negligible, and also negative, like the later part of the paper. So one of the things that they talk about is when a gift that is so big and superficial, and especially when it seems bigger than the relationship characteristic. So let's say you give the kid something that have a lot of monetary value when you don't have a relationship with your children because it's being blocked. It can actually have a negative impact on the relationship, especially when it convey, for example, control. Like, it show as if you wanted to be controlling the relationship, or when you wanted to assert the relationship, meaning that's not there, right? So anyway, that's a piece of research that I wanted to show you guys. So let's go back to the gifting dynamics, right? You have you as a giver, and you have your children as a recipient. Unfortunately, in a normal situation, the giver can just give the gift to the recipient, and that in itself is already very complex, right? Because there's a nature of the relationship, and there's also how the recipient perceive the relationship and the gift. So you have those factors to consider, right? So, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. But then in a parental alienation situation, it's a lot more complex because now you have a gatekeeper in the middle, which is the alienator, that is controlling whether the gift is going to go to your children or not. So you have really, as alienated, as targeted parents, you have a lot more challenging situation. I mean, it's already tough enough to try to figure out the right gift for anybody, right? Let alone in this situation where you're dealing with gatekeeper and challenging relationship situations. So you wanted to think about all of these factors together. So let's start with the gift giver, which is you. Your role as a parent, as a targeted parent, is always communicate these three things: love, safety, and availability. So when you're looking at gift giving, whether you should give the gift or not, and what gift you should get, these are three factors you need to consider. How do I communicate that I love my children, that I am safe, and that I am available to be there for my children, right? Those are the three key things from the giver side, okay? Now, the recipient side is you wanted to think about a few factors. One is the love language. We talk about this a little bit in different events, but there's a book by, I think, Gary Chapman that talk about the 5 love languages. And so you wanted to consider what is the main love language for your children, and usually you have one main one, and then other love languages are still kind of helpful but not as impactful or not as effective, right? So one of the love language is actually gift receiving. So some children have that as their main love language, is that if they receive gifts they feel loved, but it's not always the case, right? It depends on your child. So you have to figure out for your child what is the appropriate love language for your child, and if gift receiving is one of the love language. Let's say if that's the case, and then you choose not to send a gift. Now this is gonna be not a good thing, right? Because if your child appreciate gift and looking at receiving gift as a form of receiving love, then it's important that it doesn't matter how difficult it is, it's very important for you to make sure that you can get a gift to your child, right? But if your child love language is not gift receiving, then it's somewhat less important whether you send the gift or not. Okay, so one aspect of the recipient is the love language. The next aspect of the recipient is obviously, it depends on your children's age. Let's say if your children are teenagers, there are different things when it comes to communication with teenagers that's different than younger children. So one of the key aspects of the gifting, because it's a form of communication, it's about showing that you understand and value the recipient of the gift. So understanding the stage, the age, the stage of your children is very important, because then that you need to be able to communicate that appropriateness for your child, right? So consider those factors in, like I mentioned, the love language, and then the age group, the characteristic, so that you can communicate this sense that you understand and that you are thoughtful, that you are think of something that appropriate and personalized. Because like the research piece that I just showed you guys, when you can think of something that is highly ritualized and personalized, it has a lot more power in elevating and formulate the relationship between you guys, right? So that aspect, I want to make sure I don't forget something. There's something else here. Okay, I lost it right now, but hopefully it's gonna come back. So anyway, we talk about the gift giver, which is you. We talk about your child. Now there's a gatekeeper in the middle. Okay, so how do you? It's really, this is very challenging. Is how do you bypass the gatekeeper to get it to your child? When you send it to the house, will the gatekeeper give it to your child? This only you will know. Like you're the one that knows the alienator the best. But let's say if you have a situation where you think that they likely will not send the gift to your child, will not give it to your child, or I heard situation is even worse, is that not only they take the gift and not give it to your child, they give it to your child and say that they bought it instead of you buying it, right? So you wanted to figure out, are there ways that you can bypass this? Can you give this to relatives that help send it to your child? Can you send it to school that can get to your child? Can you send it to family and friends, or the child's friends to send it to your child? There are ways that you can get through to your child without going directly through directly through the alienators. Well, in some cases it may not be, but try to think beyond the traditional way of just sending a gift to the house. Think about, are there, and I know that today is already Christmas, so it's sort of a late time to be talking about this, but there's plenty of other opportunities in the future. We're talking about birthday and other Christmas and other occasions. So I know it's a little bit complex because you have a lot of things that you're trying to overcome. Oh yes, the thing that I forgot earlier about the recipient is that you want, normally you wanted the recipient to feel appreciated and loved by sending a gift that is personalized and ritualized. But another important aspect of alienation is you need to, one of the big things that alienators do is that they, and one of the strategy they do in brainwashing your child is erasing and rewriting the history, right? They rewrite the child's memory by implanting false memory or distort the memory between you and your child. They try to make it look like you guys didn't have a good time together, that you were unsafe, and that that you didn't care about your child. So now you need to think about what gift that can help restoring that memory. And sometimes, and we talked about this just yesterday, sometimes the trigger can be so simple. So don't overthink it, but keep that factor in mind, is that it's not just about giving something that is sweet and nice to your child, but also is there something that can help bring back certain memories between you guys? Because you need to revive it. You need to keep that alive because you have less opportunity now to build more memories with your child. So now you need to keep whatever left. You keep watering it. You need to keep keeping it survive because you don't get to build more. So anyway, so those are the factors that you need to consider. So this whole thing is complex, obviously. Like, how do you choose it? How do we send it? What to send? All of this is complex, but I want you guys to consider all of these factors, like I said, from your side as a giver, from your child as a recipient, and the bypassing of the gatekeepers. So all of those is a gift-giving side of things. But ultimately, what I wanted to talk to you about today is really how you should feel about it. Because as an alienated parent, it's challenging. Your child's being brainwashed. The alienator is blocking. You have all these that you have to deal with. So part of it is about your child, is about, I want to send this gift because I want my child to receive it so that my child will enjoy it. But a big part of this is also about you. I want to be there for my child. I want to buy this gift for my child. So whether you do it or not, also think about yourself. You do need to take care of yourself. So, even if the gift doesn't get to your child, maybe this is about doing your best, right? So this is about, well, I know that my child may not get this, but I'm going to do my best anyway. I'm going to still send the gift anyway, because that's me. Nothing can impact who I am as a parent. So I'm going to choose sending the gift, right? So it's about the mindset is, am I doing this for me? And then also understanding that there are things that beyond your control. For example, what the alienator is going to do is not in your control. So there are things when it's beyond your control, it's okay to let go. Choose serenity. Choose the peace of mind, knowing that you've done your best. This is how you survive, because there's not much you can do beyond your best, really. So there's that. And even if you choose not to send the gift, all of this still the same. What can I do that is the best for me? And what can I do that express the best of the situation right now? So I mean, like looking at the research and looking at all these factors is one thing, but at the end of the day, how do you feel about this? I'm gonna go into question in a bit. I do see Judy saying, "What do we write in the notes?" And I'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll have another separate session that talk about communication with your child another day, because that's a very big topic too. But I'll talk about what to write in a gift in a little bit. But let me just finish this thought. What were we talking about? I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place today. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose something. Okay, yeah, so the other thing is, oh yes, the two more things I want to make sure I don't forget. Yeah, one is that, so no matter what happens to that gift that you sent, it doesn't matter if it gets stolen, if it gets thrown away, if your child look at the gift and react poorly to the gift. No matter what happened, one of the way of choosing serenity is by recognizing that your love for your children is unconditional. That means that it doesn't matter how things are being received. You sending out gifts, you sending out love, and you expect nothing in return. That means that even if they don't say thank you, even if they don't appreciate it, it doesn't matter. It's about you doing your best. It's about you loving unconditionally with nothing, expecting nothing in return. And that's how you choose serenity. Okay, another aspect that is important, and I wanted to bring this to here, is that that alienator, chances are the alienator is going to be doing something that is harmful to your gift, as in like potentially they give it to the child and maybe make some comment to make the child feel like this is not worthwhile, or that they take the gift or they throw the gift away, right? So it could be any of those things. So consider, whether you send the gift or not, consider having something that you put aside for your child for the future. This is so important. Putting aside something, it could be very small. Putting something aside for Christmas 2021, birthday 2021, graduation. So you might send a gift to the child, but keep something small with you so that when you do reunite with your child, or when you do have an occasion that you know that your child's gonna get this gift, you can send it to show that consistently you've been thinking and you're loving your child, that you want to see your child. This is so important. I talk to so many adult children of parental alienation. When we recognize that we have been brainwashed, that we have been alienated from one of our parents, one of the questions we have is that, have they always been wanting to see me? Have they always been loving me? And one of the big aspect of it is seeing evidence of consistent effort from the other parent, even though we didn't know back then. But when we wake up, a huge part of healing in that relationship is seeing that the parent have been consistently working on trying to get us back, that being there and thinking of us. So if you can put aside a gift for your child, even if you don't give it today, but keep it every occasion. And yeah, write notes, write letters that you can keep it to so that your child eventually will have it. Is a very important aspect of it. This is about building legacy for the long term, right? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Okay, talk about the notes in a second. So with the notes, what you want, remember one piece of the research saying about you wanted to make sure that it doesn't give the impression of control. Your child is being brainwashed and controlled by the alienators right now. And one of the big thing about it is where they will say that the child cannot have a relationship with you. So anything that is too overburdened of like, oh, I love you so much, I really need to see you, I want, anything that seem overbearing is going to be seen as an attempt of controlling the child, unfortunately. So when you write something to your child, be lighter on the loving, unfortunately, because anything that written there is not going to be perceived the way that you wanted it. So you want it to be a little bit more low-key, a little bit more sort of, but positive, definitely positive, maybe simple, something like, hope you have a great Christmas, thinking about you. Also, the other things that especially for children that are a little bit older, I've noticed that a lot of parents forget to do the ask. The ask is actually ask for the opportunity to be there in the child's life. And it could be, and keep it in a way that it's like I said, it's very important to keep it in a way that it doesn't put a sense of obligation on the child. So this is by saying, hey, I would love to, if we could just have a 5-minute phone call, or if we could just, it depends on the age of the child, obviously. I would love to even just see you at school for 5 minutes, or could I just get a coffee with you? Like I said, it depends on the age of the child, to see what is appropriate. But do have the ask and let the child know that you are available, that you are there. But don't be overwhelming when it comes to expressing your love. We'll do another session about communication with your children later, but that's just sort of the brief thing about it. Okay, so all of that aside, there's one more thing, and this is so important, and I want to tell you guys. I want all parents to consider doing this. This is so important. Is that and this is something that my dad sort of did in a way, not exactly, but this is something that I highly recommend parents to consider doing. Really, really important message here is that consider doing a number of videos of yourself, recording of yourself, and think of what I call what if videos. Think of what if your child wake up to the situation and want to reconnect with you, but you're no longer there. So think about occasion like, let's say your child's wedding. Imagine that this video is going to be played on your child's wedding when you're no longer around. And your child by that time want to reconnect with you. So think about that and keep that in mind and do a video of that. Think about an occasion where your child is feeling down and feeling hopeless and need you to be there. Do a video of that occasion. Think of an occasion where it's a special occasion where your child is so happy and successful and have a huge accomplishment, and your child want to share it with you and you're no longer there. Think of that and do a video for that occasion, right? So you wanted to think of all these occasions. What about the time when your child have a child? and you are no longer there, and your child have by then woken up and wanted you to be there, and you could not be there for your child by then. Think of a video and do that video of you talking to your child. So think of all these occasions and do recording of these multiple videos. It doesn't have to be long, it can be short, but do these videos. Keep that in mind, that one day your child's going to wake up and your child's going to want you, and it's possible that you're no longer going to be able to be there. And think about your child playing those videos during those occasions. So I highly recommend parents think about that. Think about this sort of what I call it, what if legacy videos. Do that for your children. And that's really, I think, is the most precious gift that you could do for your children. Okay, I'm going to try to go through the question if I can. It's really weird, like Facebook changed things, and now I kind of have trouble accessing questions. How do we see all the questions? Why is it not showing? Let me see. And by the way, if you guys please help liking this and share this so that more people can see this. How do I see more comments? I know it's there, but okay, I think this is working now. Let's see. Is it working? I apologize. Let me figure this out. Okay, I see Bernard said you really do understand every situation and scenario, Petra. Thank you so much, Bernard. And Bernard, thank you so much. I saw that you sent me a message a while back. I was sort of away for a while, and I think Bernard and some other people sent me messages, and I really appreciated you being so thoughtful. You were worried about me, and you were kind of right. I was sort of going through some personal crisis, and it is to do with alienation, unfortunately. Even as today, as an adult, it still affect me a lot, trying to deal with the fact that I was alienated as a child. So anyway, I see Valerie said, I appreciate your help. Thank you so much. Okay, Nigel said, X will not allow me to send gift or cards and will not even relay message. Even my older son was, where did it go? My older son was told not to mention that nothing. The X will never allow a way through, and Kafkas will not help. I think Kafkas is like Child Protective Agency, Child Welfare Agency in UK, if I understand correctly. Okay, so there are situations where there are protection order against you, unfortunately, sometimes based on false allegation that prevent you from being able to send gift to your child. And if you violate that, it's actually it's a violation of court order. It's actually sort of illegal. So if you are in one of those situations, then don't break the law. Don't violate the custody order. And like I said, when you go into a situation where it's about recognizing when things are beyond your control, right? So if you in a situation where it's beyond your control, then it's about acceptance. And it's about, like I said, creating this legacy thing that at some point in the future, it will be there for your children. So it's about dealing with how you feel today. Acceptance is hopefully will give you serenity that you can handle it, and then still be able to do something for your children so that one day they will have it, because you can't give it to them today. So if that's the situation, is one. The other one is, you said, if you're not in that situation where you are not under a protection order that prevent you from sending gift, and if your ex will not send the gift, then you really have to figure out how do you bypass the gatekeeper, and their family or friends that could help you. Are there times that you know that your child's going to be out somewhere by themselves or with their friends that you could ask someone else to help give it to your child? Because the time that your child may be at school, like I said, don't violate any custody order. For example, my children at school, sometimes I can go to school and just leave it at the front office. It's sort of like, oh, my daughter forgot her jacket today. Could you give this to my daughter, kind of thing. So it's similar to that. Don't make it like, oh, this is a Christmas gift. Could you give it to my child? It's like, oh, my daughter forgot this today. Could you just send this back to my child? Something like that. If there's no protection order against you, so there are different ways that you can bypass the gatekeeper that way, potentially. Okay. Judy said, if we just put it out there with positive intention, that's all we can do. Yes, this is so important, right? It's about recognizing that we are doing our best. We have positive intention. And so it's about serenity right now for you first. Because if you can't reach your child and you have no control of it, it's beyond your control, then acceptance of that fact, and then manage and control what you can, which is how you feel about the situation. Because the better you are, the more healthy mentally you are, the better it's going to be for your child. So do whatever you can to make sure you take care of yourself. Okay. Noelle said, how I bypass the gatekeeper when it comes to gift. At first, I didn't. The things I sent did not get to her and may even have been given as gift from them. Yeah, I've seen situations like that. And then after enough of this, she likely became internally upset, especially after missing a huge birthday present on her 14th birthday. After that one, I sent her text telling her that I wanted to send gifts that she would receive, and I would notify her before the gift arrived, when the gift arrived, and require a simple quick text from her to tell me that she received what she sent. She agreed to this when she was 15. She's 16 now, and I know she loves the gift I sent. And for now, that is taking place of the other love languages like physical touch and quality time. I see the TikTok she makes, and everything I send her is, oh, that's amazing. See, so that's great. So if you still have contact with your children, then that's one way of getting to make sure that your child have it. So there are ways that you could potentially bypass the gatekeeper, especially if you know your child's friends, for example, or if they're relatives that still talk to them. Tia said, so do we forget about our child or children and hopefully they finally see the truth? No, we we've done so many events and there's never once that we say, let's just leave the child and walk away, and then the child will just wake up. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. And sometimes it does mean that you have to sort of leave your child alone for a little bit. It's a temporary thing, but this thing doesn't work and take care of itself. You do have to do a lot to make sure that it works. Okay, Tia said that my older two see the truth. That's great. That's amazing. There are certain triggers when the child wake up, and some of it doesn't have anything to do with you. But you don't want to leave it just for hopefully the child run into those situations. You want to do your best. And some of it may be by taking care of yourself and leave it alone for a while, but really it's like, don't give up. Judy said, what do we write in the note? Okay, I think we just talk about that a little bit. Monica said, Tia, I'm so sorry. Exactly, the damage is done. When they do that because they have all that time to brainwash a child. I apologize. Sorry. Monica said, yes, Joey, slow because COVID too. We're going to trial and my ex has money and I don't have court-appointed attorney. Not very good lawyer. Oh, I have court-appointed attorney, not very good lawyer. Monica, when it comes to divorce and custody, you're very lucky to even have court-appointed attorney. For a lot of states, they don't give you court-appointed attorney even if you can't afford to have a lawyer. So in a way, that's good. It's very difficult to get a good lawyer even when you have a lot of money. So at the end of the day, when it comes to fighting in court, it's still up to you to drive the case. So that means that try to get educated and then try to take control of it. Make sure that you are in the driver's seat. It doesn't matter who represent you as a lawyer. You really want to be in the driver's seat when it comes to fighting for your case. If you haven't seen it, check out a number of videos that we did where we interview different attorneys about how to fight parental alienation in court. So yeah, check out. I think that we interview uh several. I forgot all the attorneys, but definitely each of them have very valuable advice. So check that out. Uh, Tia said, my ex tried false allegation. He failed, but the damage is done. I have recordings where he say negative, untrue stuff about me. Yeah, false allegation is a very effective tools that it's the weapons that alienators use, unfortunately. Mary said, Merry Christmas to Petra and everyone. I didn't get to hear from my adult kids again, but I did see them on Zoom for court 2 weeks ago. They were taken in 2005. 16 Christmases now, and my mom and I pray for all the children worldwide. Dee said the best gift I can send my kids is prayers. Those will make it to him. Yeah, do the best you can. Definitely. Monica said, Joey, my husband made false allegation against me, and temporary order of protection has been 14 months and hasn't gone to trial. That's a problem with the court system. It get dragged out. It's expensive. It's crazy. Jen said, Merry Christmas, Petra. Your video give much. God bless you. Thank you so much, Jen. Merry Christmas. Thank you for being here. Nidhi said, I sent a card with $50 Visa gift card each to both on priority mail. Haven't heard from them in 2.5 years and no idea what happened with the gifts this time too. Nidhi, so like I mentioned, you've noticed with the research as well as other things. I mean, part of this is doing it for you, right? Knowing that you've done it. So if you choose to continue to do it, just know that you've done your best, that there are things that beyond your control. So let it go. But aspect of it is also that maybe the gift, maybe the money won't do a lot. So maybe you don't need to send the money. Maybe if there's a way of sending gift that is different than sending money, maybe. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying consider different factors. Deborah said, our son, the dad died. The ex daughter-in-law has alienated our 3 beautiful granddaughters for 5 years long. This is so hard. Oh my gosh. So you're a grandparent. Okay, you're the grandparent and your son died. So now your daughter-in-law alienated the children from you. This is the thing. It can be a lot more painful for grandparents sometimes because you're talking about alienated parents feeling helpless and hopeless. Grandparents feeling even more helpless and hopeless because legally they almost have no rights. There are certain states that have grandparents' rights. So look into the law in your state and see if your state have grandparents' right. And if it is, consider potentially fighting to have visitation with your grandchildren. But a lot of the time it's not about fighting in court, right? So I don't know enough about your situation, but I'm so sorry. Joey said, why only supervised visit? Okay. Tia said, I tried today, she refused them. I could hear my ex-husband saying stuff in the background of the call. Bernard said, Merry Christmas, Petra. Thanks for your dedication in helping the alienated parents and children. Device said, I'm on protection order to not see or contact my children. Sadly, I feel the same pain as other. Yeah. So, like I said, one of the things that my father did is that he set up a website for me to find after he passed, and I found it after he passed. But one of the things that he did is that he kept his diary, not every day, but pretty consistent, what he was trying to do and what he think of me and, my birthday and, New Year and things like that. and it's consistent, so that when I finally woke up to the fact that I was alienated and I was an adult and he's already passed, that helped so much with my healing. So even if you have a protection order today and you can't send the gift to your children, consider that kind of legacy is you put it aside, whether it's a gift or letter, but still have it for your children so that when your children wake up, you could rebuild the relationship and show it to your children that you've been thinking of them all along. And even if you're not around, think about how can you leave it behind so that your children can have it one day. Okay, let's see. Melissa said, are you saying to make those videos and send them to our kids now? Or if not, what do you mean we should do with those videos we make now? Okay, Melissa, it's about making those videos and then figure out who can help giving it to your children when the children wake up. It's not about sending to the children now, because right now they are not at a stage that they could accept those videos. They will not appreciate it. They might lose it. So creating those videos, and then think about, do you have a partner that you could share with? You have close friends that you could share with? You have relatives that you could share with? And then you obviously keep it so that when the opportunity is right, that it's there for your children. So yeah, she's talking about the what if legacy videos that I talk about. Jen said, "How was your Christmas, Petra?" It's been good. I've been so I was gonna have a Christmas party actually, but I canceled it because of COVID, and I really miss having a lot of family and friends. I don't have a lot of family, but I would say I adopt a lot of people in my life that I consider they are like my family, like a lot of friends that I feel like, they're part of my life. So before COVID, we have, I had people over all the time, but now with COVID, we're not having the parties. So it's kind of relaxing, and I spend a lot of time painting. I'm working on another painting, and yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I showed one of my painting yesterday. That's one of my outlets when it comes to healing and, recovering. But yeah, I'm gonna be making food in a bit. That's why I'm gonna get off very soon, and spend some time with my family. Noelle said the crew alienator did gatekeeper the gift I sent, and she did not receive anything for 2 full years. Then she missed out on her 14th birthday gift, and I know that made her upset, even though she could not express it. After that, I told her that I wanted to send her gift. I think we talked about it. We read this before. Claudia, hi, Merry Christmas. Frederick said I have the same thought. So Frederick was asking about the videos that I just talked about. Betsy said, thank you, Petra. Thank you, Betsy. Thank you for being here. Judy said, thank you for the gift of your message today. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas to you and all of your parents on today. And all the parents that are on the call today, hugs, don't give up. Claudia said, managing how you react is important. Exactly, right? It's about making sure that you protect yourself emotionally. You don't want to be more hurt, because your wellness is important to your and your child's relationship, and the better you are, the better it's going to be for your children. Yeah, Bernard said, I think Petra means the videos are for when we are no longer around, when we have passed and left with legacy and will. Yes, exactly. And yes, by the way, you can leave the video with your will. So you can write in the will and you can let people know where the videos are. Do you guys know that on YouTube, you can have unlisted videos, right? So you can upload on YouTube, for example, and the video is not public. But if anyone that has a link to it, they can see the video. So, one of the way is potentially leave it in your will with the video links as well. That's another way. But like I said, also think about who else that you could let them know about the video so they can help sharing it with your children when the time is right. I think I'm gonna go. I do have to take care of my family, but I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna try to come on tomorrow. I haven't figured out a topic for tomorrow yet. I know there's a lot of different topics. Actually, I do know. Why don't we talk about friends and families tomorrow? So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Or if you guys think of a better topic, more appropriate timing, let me know in the comments. I will check it later today, and figure out the topic for tomorrow. But I do want to come on tomorrow and talk with you guys. So, and if you're enjoying your family and enjoying your time, please go and enjoy your holidays. You know, I don't expect a lot of you guys to be on at all. I just want to be there for you if you want to be there. So anyway, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate all of you to be here. Please share, please like. Let's see what else. Oh, I want to make sure I share again the title of the paper. So if anyone wanted to look into it, I'm kind of lost as to where this Zoom thing goes. Oh, it's here. No, it's not. Where did it go? Oh, there you go. Share screen. No. All right. Okay, I just want to share the paper again for those of you that didn't see it. Here, this is the paper. So this paper is by Julie Ruth, Sele Artness, Frederick Brunel, and it's called Give, Receive, and the Reformulation of Interpersonal Relationships. It's a pretty interesting study that looking at how give impacts the relationships. So anyway, if you guys are curious, you can check it out, find it, and look into it. Anyway, have a wonderful time, and I see you guys soon. Take care.